Hi everyone. Can see we're in a different space today. I'm upstairs. This is my bedroom area and also my sacred space in the upstairs portion of the house. So you can see I have lots of artwork and things like that up. So today we're going to be talking about the Raven's Prophecy Tarot. And I'm actually really excited to do this review. I purchased the deck I think a few months ago now, and I've been using it for daily draws on the Facebook page, and a few of you had asked if I would share my opinions of this deck, so I thought, you know what, I feel like I'm ready to talk about this deck, and that there's a lot of really great uniqueness in this deck that makes it worth really spending some time and doing a review on. So, first of all, the deck is published by Llewellyn, so it comes in one of those typical Llewellyn boxes like Tarot of Vampires that are really flimsy, and so I don't keep those boxes. I recycle them, so I don't have that box anymore to show, to share with you guys, but it's a larger box, just a typical Llewellyn tarot box, and really recyclable. For me, they're not sturdy enough to actually hold decks in, and as many of you know, I don't like to store my decks anyhow. Most of them stay out on altars. I like it when they can breathe. So so the guidebook is a nice size. You're getting a 184 page guidebook. The deck is created by Maggie, and I apologize, I'm probably going to say her last name wrong, Stiefvater. She is an author, if I remember correctly. And so she really approaches the tarot with storytelling. So she brings a unique perspective to this deck that, in my opinion, makes it a great one to have, whether you're new to tarot or you're a collector. This is one that you're going to get something different out of. So the guidebooks kind of cover, you can see she has like a little intro section, not too long. She talks about working with the cards and how to do a reading. Then she has some spreads set up, and then she gets right into the cards themselves. So for instance, here's the Fool. She has keywords, and then she has a little discussion of a few paragraphs, and she does that for every single card. You're not going to find that you get less information for the minor arcana. You get just as much, and I think she gives you really good journaling information, like journaling prompts, excuse me, that's the word I meant to use, instead of kind of ignoring that and just focusing on the meaning. She really gives you pause in the guidebook to stop and kind of sit with the deeper messages that are coming out in the cards. So I would really encourage you, even if you're someone who's been reading for quite some time and you don't necessarily need a guidebook to remind you of the meanings of the tarot cards, this is a guidebook you'd want to read anyhow, because she really does bring, again, a unique perspective, and she has these great questions and journaling prompts and things that encourage you to really sit with the deck and to sit with what's coming up for yourself when you're working with the deck. So if you're someone who's being moved to step into shadow work, I know everybody's talking about shadow work now, but if you're someone who's feeling moved to do that, this is a really great deck to work with for that, and the guidebook is extremely supportive of that. So the guidebook is a gem. It's well worth the read. And oh, I forgot to say how much it is. I think the deck was around $30. So, and I forgot to say that, I'm sorry. So the guidebook is definitely worth reading. It's worth the investment. It's a really great guidebook. And if you're new to tarot, in my opinion, she gives you enough information to understand the traditional meanings, and I think that, accompanied with a book like Tarot 101 or Psychic Tarot, will really get you going. So if you are new, this isn't a deck you need to wait on. If you're new to tarot, you can step into working with this deck. So let's talk about the cards themselves. So I love the backing, let me just say, and you'll find that because this is the Raven's Prophecy Tarot, the key colors you're going to see in this deck are blacks and oranges. There's whites and blues as well as kind of complementary, and some purples, but we really have this kind of darker colored focus in the deck combined with this very sacral chakra orange popping up for you too. So it's really gonna either drive you nuts when you first start working with the deck, or you're really gonna feel a difference working with this deck because of those colors, and they really do activate those lower chakras when you're working with them as well. So again, it's a different deck. You're gonna have a unique experience with this one. So again, the backings have the signs for the elements and the lemniscate, or the symbol for infinity. The card size, this is the card size here, and this is the tarot, the French, oh god, I'm not gonna be able to say this, Le Tarot d'Éphémérique. Sorry for butchering that, guys. So you can see that this is a little bit larger of a tarot deck, so you can see that, you know, it's a typical tarot deck size. You know, it's not a huge deck, it's not like the Thoth, but it's not as like slender as a Lo Scarabeo. So you're definitely going to be able to see your image. Here is the pet peeve that I have. The borders are huge on this deck. This is okay. This part right here is just too much for me. It's a lot of orange, and I would love for just the outer edge to be bordered or no border at all. But, you know, that's just a personal pet peeve. It might not bother you at all. I do think the composition of the black with the orange again is provoking in a beneficial way, and definitely part of the experience of working with the deck, that being said. So you're going to see that with each card, here's the King of Cups. There's not a lot going on in the artwork. Here's the Devil. It's very simple, very focused. Now my understanding is that she is the artist as well. So each Ace of Coins here, each image has a purpose, and your interaction with it is very focused on that one piece of the composition itself. Here's Five of Cups. So you can see that you're not having to, it's not like the Shadowscapes Tarot, and I love Shadowscapes Tarot, so I'm not complaining about that deck at all, but there isn't a lot for you to kind of peer through. You get right to the heart of the matter, and you will see in each suit there's this theme, like with the cups we have feathers and bowls or chalices quite a bit, and there's a theme going on with each of the images. So here we have the King of Coins. So it actually reminds me a bit of the Wooden Tarot in the, you know, in that we're really working with just one image, Knight of Swords here, and focusing on exploring that. So it brings it down more to just the core. There's not a lot of excess. There's not a lot to again have to kind of peer through and peel away. You're just getting right into it. Here's Six of Cups. So again, where you can see this roses and thorns with the coins being, and you'll see that throughout there are key symbols. For instance, here we have Seven of Swords, but we have the Pentacle and the lemniscate repeated again. So you can see that there is this kind of connection with these key symbols and encouragement to really kind of get into those symbols and to explore them and to develop your own kind of multi-layered experience with them that I find really, really beautiful. And the simplicity of it is what really draws you in. Here's the Death card. So I was really on the fence about getting this deck, guys. I had seen a few other people on Instagram using the deck in their own spreads or layouts or photos of their beautiful altars. And I really wasn't drawn to do it, but for some reason I purchased it anyhow. I wasn't really sure why. And I have to say, I wasn't even really drawn to start exploring a deep relationship with this deck, but a friend of mine and I, a very dear friend, really decided to, you can see the symbol. So anyhow, sorry guys, I had to switch over to the iPad, but a friend of mine, very dear friend of mine, and we decided to kind of do some working together with this deck, and I found that I was having a really, really powerful experience with this deck. It gets a lot done without having to use or to show you a lot. It's a very, very powerful deck. And I have to say, I really, really love working with it now that it's been a few months, and it was a wonderful push, kind of doing a partnership working with the deck together, because it pushed me to really, really sit with this deck and kind of keep going with it, even when I was kind of feeling like, oh, some uncomfortable things are coming up here. I'm having to really look at some stuff, and it could be easy if you're on your own to kind of take a break, but it forced me to really, really work with this deck. And I have to say that here's the Hierophant. It was the best thing for me with this deck. Super, super, just strong deck. It's made with a great deal of love and intention, and you can tell that. It's a deck that's been lovingly crafted. You can see the ravens show up in the cups a lot as well. And it's not one that's just been mass created. The artist and the author, she has really brought a great deal of love and affection for tarot and respect for tarot to this deck. So for me, this is a must-have in my collection. It's not one that I intend to give away or not work with after some time. It's one that's comfortable on my kitchen altar and going to stay there for some time and be interacted with on a daily basis for the most part for me. So I would say to you that even if you don't feel immediately drawn to the artwork, this is a deck that's still worth your investment. And I do understand, you know, oh, here's the moon, guys. So beautiful. You know, I understand it's an investment. That's why we watch reviews, right? We want to see, is it worth our investment? Is it going to be a deck that we can really have a beautiful relationship with and connection to? And I would really offer to you guys that this is absolutely one where you can make a deep, deep connection at heart level and really explore also what, you know, what we would say in Western culture as the lower chakras, which are not actually lower. They're equally as important as our upper chakras, but really exploring those foundational chakras and encouraging you to explore issues at those roots, but also how to bring those root chakras, those earth chakras, into balance to support you on your earth path. And so it's a deck that's kind of integral to that for me, I think, going forward, and really, really special. It's one that I'm honored to have in my collection, and it's one of those decks that I'm so glad I wasn't sure about and I purchased it anyhow. You know how we end up doing that, and it's like 50-50. Is it going to be an amazing deck that, oh, we're so glad we did it, or are we going to regret that we did it? We should have, you know, listened to our intuition. But the Raven's Prophecy Tarot is one that I can say, at least for me, beyond a doubt, that this one is a keeper. It's a beautiful deck that I feel really connected to, and that it's a valuable part of my spiritual practice. Now, interestingly enough, I've had the deck for a few months. I have not been reading for clients with this deck. It's still at this point a personal deck. And I find that very healing for me, because it is one that's bringing in a lot of shadow work for me. It's one that I appreciate not having to share with others yet. And so there might come a time where I do decide to share the deck with others in readings, but for right now, I'm really honored and blessed and thankful to have this deck just for my own personal working. So those are my opinions and thoughts on the Raven's Prophecy Tarot, guys. It's a keeper. It's one to invest in if you feel drawn to do it. And hopefully this video helps you to see, you know, and decide, is it something that you want to invest your money into? Is it worth that exchange for you? Thank you so much for watching. So happy to be doing some more reviews. It's been a while, and I always love talking tarot with you guys. So I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Many blessings and much love, guys. Bye.